Boy, do I have some absolute spiciness for you guys. This one's going to be one that I care about. And as you know, when I care about something, I get kind of close to the edge. And there's a lot of people that say that they watch me that don't like me cussing, and I get that. But some things on a deep level make me feel weird, right? And one of those things is The Mummy. Now, I don't know about you, but back in the day, The Mummy came out. It was a really good movie. We all fell in love with Brendan Fraser. I mean, obviously, we knew him before that, but you have to understand at this time, when this movie came out, I mean, he did really star in a lot of like goofy, he was like a funny, goofy guy. This made him like the like sexy, I'm an action star. This made him like Indiana Jones level of attractive to people, and thinking, you know, obviously he didn't end up having this huge career or anything, but I think you got to understand at the time, I don't think anyone expected, because, you know, I was there when it came out. I don't think anyone expected this movie to come out and absolutely blow up like it did. And the second one did pretty much just as good. But we're going to talk about something today that obviously I've already said I care about a lot. This is just fucking nuts, guys. So we know what happened with the Mummy franchise, right? The third one came out and it was less good, you could say. Rachel Weiss kind of acted like a little bit of a bitch. And if you don't like me saying that, there's no other words for it, and I won't describe it any other way, because here's what happened. She felt like she was a young person, okay? She felt like she was a young person, and to even have the idea of her maybe having a kid on screen, or being someone's mother, or being, you know, aged up, you know, being like, hey, you're a mom now, or you're a parental figure. That's how we're seeing you. She didn't want that. She didn't want that because she also didn't want to be cast in other stuff or have other people for other movies cast her as such. Okay? So she kind of bombed the whole thing, and they had to bring in a new actress and everything else, and it was really weird for us at the time, you know, watching this third one. It felt gross. Let's be honest, it felt gross. And, you know, not everything is on her. The director also let us all down, to be honest, because he dipped from the franchise. And completely, basically abandoned the films. And I know that there's multiple factors. Some might say that, audiences were getting tired of The Mummy. One, I fucking wasn't. And I don't know many people that were, because, you know, they say when you look back at like all the information, that's one of the things that was cited. But let's be honest, how many of us, this could be a comment section right here, how many of you really sat back and said, I don't want any more Mummy, this is stupid, I'm over it? Nobody. I don't know anyone that wasn't excited about The Mummy. And when I'm saying this, understand what I mean, okay? I'm saying there's movies like Fast and the Furious and Saw and things like that that continue a very long time, and fans eventually go, oh god, another one. Okay, I'll watch it, but I'm not that into it, or what have you. Just think about the franchises that have continued way past what they, look at the Disney movies. Look at specifically Star Wars is one of those that I think people are like, you know what? We're done with these movies. Like, let's do something else. And that's particularly that it's kind of on them, right? But that's what people were saying was one of the factors with this whole mummy thing. I feel like I'm not. I feel like I should say this. I'm not trying to put a lot of stuff on Rachel. She did go on to regret, I believe, if you look at her IMDb page, she did go on to regret a little bit of her choices, and I think well into the old age that she is now, she will continue to regret her choices for doing that, because I've seen some of the movies that she's in now that I had no idea about, and boy, I don't think, you do your own research. She's not doing too hot. Let's just say that. So as mad as I am, I also think, like, if you put someone in prison and they serve their sentence, I think their sentence has been served. So on that note, all is forgiven. But I will say this. The Mummy Returns was successful. Okay? But let's talk about the Scorpion King scene. We all know what I'm talking about. We're talking about the actual dog shit CGI that has since been just made, it was so laughably bad. That's one of the things that just brings it up in my memory. And my main point is, like, I'm talking about the things that really killed the franchise, okay? And in The Dragon Emperor, good Lord. What is there even to say? How many fans actually saw that movie? I know I did, but I know a lot of people who said that they didn't even fucking bother. That's how badly it was received. And that's crazy to me because, people just jump at the chance. And then obviously the Scorpion King had its spinoff, and that was actually, in my opinion, I'm going to say in my opinion, because I think it's like super 50-50. In my opinion, I liked it. I didn't mind The Rock at the time being in it. He fit it really well. He did really good. There was no shitty CGI. And, but look what they tried to do with it. They tried to milk it, and they had new actors, and they kept, it was fucking terrible. And so all this stuff really does, brick by brick, play into a factor on why everything has happened. And let's not even forget that we had a Tom Cruise Mummy set in the same universe, and it somehow, with making like 400 million plus and having all this money dumped into it and having all of this graphics work and all this stuff, it was just a bad movie. It was a bad movie. And I actually, when I was watching it, I still remember what I was thinking. I was like, surely this isn't over already, right? Like, surely something else is going to happen here. Like, they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. And like the others, where they're exploring and telling stories and having these intimate moments. It really was like, well, a Tom Cruise movie. It's like actiony, but like without it didn't have depth. It didn't have depth. But they called that it was not a continuation of the other movies, but it was called the Dark Universe. So it had shared monsters and a shared identity, and it was basically set in the same world. So you could think about it as like they're continuing a different story, but it is set in the same world, technically. But there were so many reasons. And one of the big deals is, the main people wanting to get out of it. Sommers was the guy who really made it, and he left. And, his first two had a clear vision. It was obvious what he was trying to go for, and we all ate it up, but man. So, that brings me to 2005. Okay? It brings me to 2005, to which we keep having these massive rumors. Okay? We keep having these massive rumors that they're making a new Mummy and all this stuff coming out. And if you see on my screen here, we have The Mummy 2006. And we have all these trailers with Brendan Fraser. And I think that I need to talk about this because I think that there should be some kind of video on this. There is no Brendan Fraser. Yes, he has in the past talked about going and doing another movie, but he has always understood, and everyone and he has tried to make people understand, no one has approached him. Nothing is happening. I think some, like a lot of them, would come back, right? But there's been a lot of changes. People have died. People have moved on. And basically, he wouldn't have any problem with that returning. He has said that, but it's a rumor. It's not true. I don't know where it started. I think it would have had to have these rumors would have started, by people who wanted to just make an article, like the journalists do. They come up with a crazy title, crazy thing, and get everybody in a huff and get everyone excited about something that literally does not exist, just to create something that they make money from. And I think that's wrong. I think that's super wrong, because some people actually care about these franchises. They get excited. They want to know. And, if you've watched my videos, you know that like the stuff that I'm putting out basically goes into deep dives on this stuff and basically says, like, here's the reality, here's my opinion on it, and so forth. So there's no Brendan Fraser. There's no new movie, including him. And I have to make this very clear. There is a movie called The Mummy. Now, I think the reality is The Mummy and all of these things have been used since like the 1930s, okay? I don't think The Mummy and The Mummy and Mummy this, Mummy that, whatever. I think that specific title is one of those that's in like limbo. Like you can't really copyright it the same way I couldn't copyright a movie called A Tree. So sometimes when you see movie titles and books have really crazy, stupid names, and you're like, man, this is such a ridiculous name. Why'd they name it that? It's because that particular name or something like that is, copyrightable in a way that says, oh, you can't even use the name because I can sue you for trying to confuse the two. I think there's a ton of those old movies like Werewolf and, you know, Creature. And I think that's why things have moved away from that naming scheme, realizing that anyone can come up with them. There's like even songs have this issue where, you know, a song might be called My Baby, and it's like you can't really force other people not to have a song called My Baby, right? And it does come down to that. It does come down to that. But here's the deal. There is a movie coming out. It is called The Mummy. Okay? It has nothing to do, because these rumors have basically tried to conflate it and tried to profit off of telling people stuff that just isn't true, and trying to conflate the two things and trying to say that, oh yeah, he's going to be in it and all this other stuff just to get clicks. No, there will be no movie with him in it. And this movie specifically has nothing to do with the original ones, has nothing to do with the Tom Cruise ones, has nothing to do with any older ones, has nothing to do with any of that universe, because that universe actually, since the Tom Cruise movie did so poorly, has been dissolved. They will not be making any more Mummy movies for the foreseeable future. It's not even slightly a rumor. It's not even like people are moving stuff into place for this, or talking to people, or writing some scripts, or whatever. No one wants to do it. Except for Brendan Fraser, who said, mainly, I think it's a kindness. The fans ask, would you do one? And he says, yeah, there was a good time in my life and I loved doing them. I think that's it. That's the full exchange. There's nothing deeper. But I will say this. This Mummy is more of a horror film. So The Mummy is made by the same person who made Evil Dead Rise. Okay? It's going to be done by New Line Cinema, and it's straight horror. It's nothing to do with adventure. It's not a action adventure. It's not anything to do with the other films. It will be a straight up horror film, just like if you've seen Evil Dead Rise, think along those lines, where it's like, this is a horror movie. It's meant to be scary, but as far as everything goes, you know, go back to like 1960s, 1930s, and these mummy ones that come out with them walking and they're in the like whatever. Go ahead and just assume that that's about it. That's what you're going to get. Obviously, it's going to be a little more technically detailed, but if you think about it like that, you won't get it confused with actually good movies. But I thought about this being something important to put out there, just because it's something that I like and love, and hopefully this was like help some people make sense of all the bullshit online, because there most certainly is. But if you like the video and you want to see more, I'm currently doing a video every day, apparently. And I'm back in the mix. And if you want to join this little weird family I've got going on here, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.